Good morning all. I am going to cover cyber stalking. What is cyber stalking? Stalking is the act or process of following victims silently, trying to approach somebody or something. Cyber stalking has been defined the use of information and communication technology of individual to harass another individual. Cyberstalking is a crime in which attacker harasses the victim using electronic communication such as email, instant messaging, or messages posted on websites or a discussion group. Cyberstalkers rely upon the anonymity offered by the internet to allow them to stalk their victim without detection. Next, we can see the types of cyber stalking. There are two types, online stalkers and offline stalkers. In that online stalkers, the aim of the online stalker is to start the interaction with the victim directly with the help of internet, email, chat room. The stalker makes sure that the victim recognizes the attack attempted on him/her. Stalker can make use of a third party to harass the victim. Let us see the another stalker type, offline stalkers. So let us see what are the offline stalkers. The stalkers may begin with the attack using traditional methods such as following victim, watching the daily routine of the victim, etc. Example is use of community sites, news groups, social websites, personal websites, etc. Victim is not aware that internet has been used to achieve an attack against them. So these are nothing but the online and offline stalkers. Let us see how stalking works. The stalker may post the victim's personal information as sex workers, service, or dating service. Stalker will use bad, attractive language to invite the interested person. Whoever comes across the information start calling victim and asking for a relationship, etc. Some stalkers subscribe the email account of the victim to innumerable pornographic and different kinds of bad sites. So let us see what are the cases reported on cyber stalking. The majority of cyber stalking are men and the majority of victims are women. In many cases, cyber stalker is ex-lover, ex-spouse, boss, subordinate, and neighbor. There also have been cases about strangers who are cyber stalkers. And this is the way we can define how the stalking works. Personal information gathering about the victim. Personal information gathered about the victim. So how we can define name, family background, contact details such as cell phone, telephone number, like residence as well as office, address of residence as well as office, email address, date of birth, etc. So these kinds of way the personal information we can gather. Next is establishing a contact with victim through the telephone, cell phone. Once the contact is established, stalker may make a call to victim to harass. Stalkers will almost always establish a contact with the victims through email. The letters may have the tone of loving, threatening, or can explicit. Stalker may use multiple names while contacting the victim. Some stalkers keep on sending repeated emails asking the various kinds of favors or threaten the victim. The stalker may post the victim's personal information on any website related to illicit services such as sex worker services or dating services, posting as if the victim has posted of the information and invite the people to call the victim on the given contact details like telephone number, cell phone numbers, email address to have sexual services. So this is the way we can define the how stalking works. Now the real life example, let us see the real life example. The Indian police have registered the first case of cyber stalking in Delhi. The brief account of the case has been mentioned here. Mrs. Doshi received almost 40 calls in 3 days, mostly at odd hours, from as far away as Kuwait, Cochin, Bombay, and Ahmedabad. The seed calls created havoc in the personal life, destroying mental peace of Mrs. Doshi, who decided to register a complaint with the Delhi police. A person was using her ID to chat over the internet at the website www.mirc.com, mostly in Delhi channel for 4 consecutive days. The person was chatting on the internet using her name and giving her address, talking in the absence language. The same person who was deliberately giving her telephone number to other chatters, encouraging them to call Mrs. Doshi at odd hours. This was the first time when a case of cyber stalking was registered. Cyber stalking does not have a standard definition, but it can define to mean threatening, unwarranted behavior, or advances directed by one person toward another person using internet and other forms of online communication channels as a medium. In this way, we can define the real life example or how we can find the cyber stalking was registered first time. Next is the cyber cafe and cybercrime. In February 2009, the survey 90% of audience across 8 cities and 3,500 cafes were male and in the age group of 15 to 35 years. 52% were graduate and postgraduate. Almost 50% were students. In India, cyber cafes are known to be used for either real or false terrorist communication. Pirated software like OS, browser, office automation software, Microsoft Office are installed in all the computers. Let us see another cyber cafe holds 2 types of risk. We do not know what programs are installed on the computers like keyloggers or spyware. Another is the over-the-shoulder peeping can enable others to find out your password. Cyber criminals prefer cyber cafes to carry out their activities. A recent survey conducted in one of the metropolitan cities in India reveals some facts. So which are the facts? Let us see the facts. Pirated softwares are installed in the computer. Antiviruses was not updated with the latest patch and or antivirus signature. Several cyber cafes had installed the software called Freeze for protecting the computer from prospective malware attacks. Although such intent is noble, this software happens to help cyber criminals hoodwink the investigation agency. Next is annual maintenance contract was not found for servicing of the computer. Next is pornographical websites were not blocked. Cyber cafe owners have their less awareness about IT security and IT governance. Cyber cafe association or state colleges do not seem to conduct periodic visits to cyber cafes. So there are thousands of cyber cafes across India in the event of monitoring cyber cafes individuals should take while visiting or operating some cyber cafe. So what are the cyber tips for cyber cafe? Always log out. While checking email or logging for chatting, always click log out, sign out. Simply closing the browser window is not enough because if somebody uses same service after you, then one can get easy access to your account. So do not save your login information through the options that allow automatic login. Disable such options before log on. Let us say the next step is stay with the computer while surfing, browsing. One should not have the system unattended for any period of time. If one has to go out, log out and close all browser windows. Let us see another clear history and temporary files. Before browsing, deselect autocomplete option, browser. So go to the tools, internet options. So here I have given the tips. After you have finished browsing, you should clear the history and temporary internet files folders. For this, these are the paths given. Be alert. Next is be alert. One has to be alert for snooping over the shoulder. One should have to stay alert and aware of surroundings while using a public computer. Snooping over the shoulder is an easy way for getting your username and password. Next is avoid online financial transactions. Ideally, one should avoid online banking, shopping, or other transactions that require one to provide personal, confidential, and sensitive information such as credit card, bank account details, etc. In case of emergency, one has to do it. One should take the precaution of changing all the password as soon as possible. One should change the password using a more trusted computer such as home or an office. Next step is change password. The screenshot displays, for example, after completion of transaction, almost every bank website provides virtual keyboard. Next is security warning. One should take almost care while accessing the website of any bank financial institution. So these are nothing but the tips for safety and security while using the computer in the cyber cafe. Now, let us understand the botnet. What is the botnet? The meaning of botnet is an automated program for doing some particular task over network. Botnet term is used for collection of software that runs autonomously and automatically. Botnets are exploited for various purposes, including denial of service, attacks, creation of misuse of SMTP mail, relays for spam, click fraud, and financial information such as credit card numbers. Botnet is a network of computers infected with malicious programs that allow cybercriminals to control infected machines remotely without the user knowledge. So we can call zombie networks. Zombie networks have become a source of income for entire group of cybercriminals. So this is the way we can define the botnet. How the botnet is created and used. Botnet operators send out viruses or worms, infected ordinary users, computers whose payload is a malicious application, that is the bot. And bot is the infected PC logs into a particular server, often as IRC server, but in some case web server. Thank you.